on our computer. We can share it to anyone who didn't watch the video, and hopefully we can still start connecting beyond this live video as well. Brilliant. So off we go. We're going to go. I think we'll use the path. We'll be safe. We'll use the path. So, Thomas, you've been out this morning. Tell us a little bit about what you got up to. Was it individually or in a pair?
Hi everyone. I went out on my own.
But you were representing NEAT, yeah?
Yeah, representing NEAT. I went out on my own because I noticed I'd put up 2 litter pick signs, just to say if people could keep this area tidy and not to put rubbish behind the fence on City Road. So I put up new laminated signs, and in the event I still went off and did a bit of a litter pick. But when I got up to the junction by St. Germain's Church, I took a right and I saw so much litter. I went down there and enveloped back into my estate. So I've got 4 bags of litter. I'm happy with that.
That's great, Thomas. Now we've just come to the lake, so I can show you the view from the lake. And if the camera has hopefully turned, there you go. That's the view of Chardin Lake here. It's a lovely, lovely spot for your well-being. There is a path all the way around this lovely lake as well. So those who don't know it, you can walk, you can bring the children, you can have a wonderful walk. But as you can see where we are now, I was just going to point this out. Look at this. So the wind has blown a lot of the rubbish out here. And there's quite a lot of bits that we can come back and collect and get that through the water.
Feeding the ducks.
Yes. Some people might find that those who come out to feed the ducks will bring bread, but then leave the wrappers as they are here. And there's quite a bit of rubbish just in this little section as soon as we've started our walk here. So that's the kind of thing that we're facing in these areas. What kind of litter or fly tipping issues are you facing in your areas, guys? Have you been seeing an increase in the fly tipping, an increase in the litter on the streets during the lockdown that we've been in?
I've definitely seen quite a lot of fly tipping, especially with the difficulties of not being able to get to the tip. I think people are taking the selfish and lazy option of just dumping it in the street. So
yeah, someone had a Carlsberg here. Look, someone had a Carlsberg and then left it here, so that's coming straight in the bin, put straight off. It's a bit early for the drinks as well.
We should have brought the litter pickers out with us. We're trying not to encourage people to litter pick in groups and litter pick, follow the rules of Birmingham City Council, but it's just so desperate. It's just getting worse and worse. You can tell that June's not been out round here. The difference is unbelievable.
Yeah. So as you might have heard there, Yvonne has stated that the council have advised us on going out and doing litter picks at the moment. That's because of collection of litter as well, not just, obviously we want to keep our cities clean, but they might have limited staff on, limited resources to collect litter. So there's a lot that we can do ourselves to try and prevent that. So is that bird feeder? A bird feeder here, Marcus? That's a good idea, isn't it? A couple of bird feeders. I know that's right up Marcus's street. But again, next to the birds, I can see the litter, the litter packets around here, dotted all around here. So it needs a good clean here. So we can pop back and do that as well. So Michelle, your students are online. Have the students got any questions about litter or environment? Maybe some questions for Yvonne from the beautiful Birmingham project. I can turn the camera to Yvonne and we can walk and talk. So
nice to meet at last, Michelle.
Hi, I will type a message in our Teams using my other device and then I'll come back onto this device. Multitasking.
That's great. Yeah, just keep typing any questions you have in here. Jamie, our admin and host, is here as well, and we can save the chat. So if there's any questions that we can't get answers for you today, we can always try and get back to you later on as well. And I know all of us have got individual contacts in the council. So one of the things we wanted to do is to get some kind of consensus of who should we contact when we are facing our issues. You know, who's the best contact within the council? And Thomas has tried to kind of coordinate this, haven't you, Thomas? You've got some really good information you've shared with me in the past. And, you know, we find that we all have individual contacts within council. I know that I deal with the waste prevention team over on the Redfern Depot. Yeah, is that they're brilliant, they are. Yeah. And a lovely lady that takes care of everything. Yeah. Christina, yeah. Thomas, any of your contacts?
Sorry, I'm trying to fiddle with my phone because you're on my phone and not my PC, so I can't see anyone except when you talk. Guys, I really feel for you out in the cold. I'd love to come with you with a flask of hot tea or something. So I am feeling it. I see all your hair blowing around, Yvonne.
Yvonne's forgotten a woolly hat. So
there's a chill in the air. There's a chill in the air. So thank you for doing this walk while we sit in our nice warm homes. Yeah, I have a contact, and when I meet people that do litter picks, I try and encourage them, you know, and also try and get them to join up with other people if they possibly can. You see a lot of random people out, but the times I see them, I'm either on a bus or I'm going in a rush on somewhere and I can't actually speak to them. But the ones I do speak to, I try and make them aware of other groups near them, if there are any, no matter how small. And I provide them with information how to get like free bags, that's prior to COVID, that can be utilized rather than people buying their own bags. Because all summer, Neat were picking up like rubbish on City Road, and this man got in contact through our Facebook site, and this will just show you the power of Facebook and social media when you need it. And he went onto Facebook to see if he could find us, because he'd seen the Neat on the back of our jackets. Yes. And he Googled us and found us and offered us free bags if we wanted them, because he wanted to be able to help us in some way. And he was a hardware store, so he was offering us the bags, and he said he might be able to help us with some hoops. So I thought it was really nice of him to take the time out from his business, passing by in his car, go back, find out where we were, who we were, and get in contact. So that was really nice. And he said it made such a difference, his drive into work and seeing all the roads clear the way he used to come.
That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Thomas. Welcome, Jack. We are just at Chardin Lake. I'm just going to turn the camera to show you our lovely view. And just if it allows me to turn it, I'll try again. My hands are so cold. There you go. I've got Yvonne here. Hello, Yvonne. Hi. Yvonne's from Beautiful Birmingham Project. Jack, do you want to tell us from which litter picking group, or are you an individual interested in litter picking?
Yeah, welcome. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was a little bit late back from shopping, but I live in Moseley, so I'm one of the Moseley Litter Busters, and I'm also doing a little bit of, because I'm fairly close to Hall Green, I've done a little bit of work in Hall Green as well with the Angels, but most of my work is around Moseley, and I do some cleanups around Moseley Bog and Windermere Fields as well, so all part of the general. And the Litter Busters group has been going for some time. I've been in it about 18 months. So.
Oh, that's great. That's Izzy Knowles and the Moseley Litter Busters. You are fabulous. We do see you out. You've got really good branding. I like the branding, and we can always see you when you're out, when you've done a litter pick. I live at the Sayre Home Mill, and you do cover some of the Swanseas Park area and beyond. So
yeah, I actually did. I know it's in Hall Green. I did Sayre Hall Mill yesterday. I did a look around the perimeter and then to Moseley Bog. Got about 2 bags worth. It wasn't too bad.
No, there are quite a few active people now around that area. Thank you all for what you're doing. And we've noticed that Moseley Bark, Sayhole Mill, the Dingles, John Morris Walkway, they've all had lots more visitors, and it's nice for the visitors to come and see it clean, away from litter, and the nature and the animals. I love walking out there. You see a heron or two. I saw the little egret a few weeks back as well, beautiful white egret. So, you know, to notice these things when you're walking down the river and not notice any litter, that's really, really nice to see. So thank you. We've got I'm going to turn the camera back because we were, as this was not planned, or it's an unexpected find, but we're going to walk around here and show you who's behind this hedge. The rare breed of animal. He's a bit shy, he's hiding, he's running back. So guys, this was not a planned visit, but Mike has kindly come and started litter picking, and we were talking about some of the stuff we saw earlier. Mike and is it Helen? Hello, do you want to introduce yourselves and tell us from where you're from?
I'm Mike Wesley, I'm from Erdington, principally Erdington Litter Busters, but widening up to having a few more contacts. I came here because I heard about you coming, and I thought, well, Jim may or may not be coming out, so let's get out and clean up a bit. Sadly, there's fishing tackle here with wires.
And lots of rubbish you've already got in a bag already. Yeah.
This is our second bag.
Yeah.
And we only started from the car park there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be done, but it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
As you say on your century walk, mental health, century good.
Mental health is mental wealth. Yeah, that's what we say. So really great to see you out.
Yeah.
You've just done this little section, and you can see there's 2 bags. So if you want to leave any of the bags with me, I can come collect them later. My car's here. If you're not, So we are, as a council, have advised us not to go out in groups and do litter picks, and also not to take the rubbish home, try and put it into your own bins if possible. I know that's not always possible, but that's what we're still trying to encourage you to do, is go out, half fill a bag and put it in your own. Just do it, you know, maybe the day or so before your own litter collection. Yeah, it's important. And then
without grey bags from the council, black bags in your own bins, or get to know your neighbours.
Yeah,
and they might offer part of their bin. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Brilliant.
You can really tell that you've not been out, can't you? The difference of stopping people going out to litter pick. The bushes and all stuff left on the fishermen. Yeah. And Jim would have got rid of all of that.
It's a good time now to do it. Yeah. The branches are back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And please come out when we can. You know, when the sun's out, if you to join Jim's group, come out and litter pick. It's a real treat. It's a great view.
So Jim Penn, who we're talking about, is from the Friends of Cove Valley, and he does regularly litter pick along the Cove Valley route. And you know, Thomas, sorry, you got a question? Yeah.
Sorry, Taz, I didn't have a question. Oh, Yvonne seems to have evaporated into a bush. Oh yeah, there she is. Sorry, Yvonne, it was the light. I thought, my God, why is her head in the bush? I thought Taz had put you in a bush.
No. We were walking around the lake and we saw a Mike just pop out from behind a bush. So we thought we'd come and say hello.
That's great, guys.
We are partners.
Yes, so you're partners, and they're out, and they've got
not separate. We're in the same household.
Same household doing their litter pick together.
That's
Thank
lovely.
you, guys. We're gonna carry on walking around the lake, but we'll see you on the other side. Yeah, very shortly. Thank you. So Erdington Litter Busters, those who you don't know, are doing some amazing work, and they've got a program that they're following called Adopt a Street. Now, have any of you heard about Adopt a Street, and are you following Adopt a Street in your areas? Yes, we've got Jack.
Yeah, we just started Adopt a Street in Moseley, and also King's Heath Litter Busters have contacted us and using the same using forms. Whole Green Angels have just started that, and we've now been contacted by Cotteridge. Don't know them too well. Cotteridge want to do the same thing, so it's beginning to blossom, shall we say. So the Moseley scheme is just really getting underway. It's only been out on Facebook for a few days, and we're getting quite a few people have responded on top of the volunteers we already have. Just wanted to mention that although we're only picking solo at the moment or in twos, it's amazing how much you can pick. We're keeping a tally since the beginning of the year. We haven't done that before, and we've picked, I think it's now 142 bags, and that's people on their own in 6 weeks, which is not bad. It's about a ton of litter. So we've always thought the group picks have been really good because you get people, more people come, and they you tend to get more picked. But I think that's a pretty good result in when we're not really supposed to be doing it.
So could you repeat the amount of litter, because I think that was one of the questions that came in the chat, to find out how much are we picking up from the streets, guys? And if you can just give that
I'll just repeat what we have done. 6 weeks, 142 grey bags, and there's also within the Moseley Litter Busters there's a small another group that cover the Moor Green area and Highbury Park, and they do their own picks. So on top of the 142, we have got some more. So it'll be interesting to see when we get back to group picking how much we get per week. So we're talking roughly I don't know, maybe 20 odd bags or more, 25 bags a week. And I applied the weight. I've seen some figures from other groups where they do weigh and the rubbish they pick, and I took an average of that, and it works out for us that we've picked about a ton of rubbish in the last 6 weeks.
That's outstanding. It's shocking to find that amount of litter, and that I think that's increased since we've been in lockdown. So people are getting out more, doing the activities, but they're not using the bins, or they're not taking the litter home with them. It's causing a lot of problems for the wildlife and just your community, your neighborhood. So we need to come together to try and resolve this. So, we are encouraging, every time I do a walk or a sensory walk in my videos, I always encourage people to come out, use the green spaces, but take the litter home with them. If you see that bin's overflowing, don't leave your bag next to it or on the side, because the animals are just going to come and rubbish it later, and it'll be everywhere in the park again. So it's just common sense sometimes as well. And also, reporting to the council maybe to increase the number of times they come and empty those bins in the parks. If people are using the parks more often, then the council needs to do something about collecting and emptying those bins more often as well. And you might need a couple of visits a week in that park instead of the weekly visit that they do normally. So we can raise all these issues with the councils at the Birmingham City Council as well. Brilliant. So I hope that's answered your question in the chat there, Michelle, for the students. So it's staggering amounts of litter, unfortunately, that we're finding. We're going to start walking down towards the River Cole here. So
sorry, Taz, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Carry on, Thomas.
Hi, Taz. Sorry, I didn't answer your question you asked me originally. So hopefully this will be helpful to people starting out. As we all know, every group around Birmingham have their own ways of doing things and also contacting the council. So just so people are aware, this is just a council, this is just the Birmingham Council and not Sandwell, if anyone can see this. So you have the waste prevention team, and the waste prevention team have a landline number and an email address, and they're the ones that connect in with you for bags, and also they can give you a little bit of advice on litter pick equipment. However, at the moment, I think that's at a standstill, as we all know. So the waste prevention team, I can read it out for you, is 0121 303 1932. Now the phone line is still being answered by someone, and they're the people I go to organise grey bags. Now you can either pick up the grey bags from the depot, whichever one they advise you to go to, wherever you're nearer to, or sometimes they'll drop them off. If you are unable to drive there, So for me, I have a bicycle only. I could pick them up. I'm young and fit, but they can drop them off just as quick when they're around my area. So the number for waste prevention team, again, I've just been asked by Michelle, is 0121 for Birmingham, 303 1932.
Thank you, Thomas. And could you also put that in the chat, if you don't mind, with
Oh,
the
yes.
email address, waste prevention email address as well?
And
So
I'll also put the waste enforcement unit number and the fly tipping address as well. And Taz, if I can just quickly say, those for you with funding, one of the options might be to go through Veolia. If you look up Veolia, which is VEOLIA, Veolia work with the City Council, and they were able to provide me with my group £200. And the application form is very simple, and they provided that 2 years ago to me. Now, the applications are open twice a year usually, if not more. So that might be an option for people who want just a little bit of funding to get them started.
okay, that's great, great information.
Real helpful information. They've done the same for Yorkswood. They got all the equipment they needed, all the cutting back equipment they needed, all through a fund, and that was Ionia, which is really good.
Brilliant. Jackie, I had a question. I think you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I think recently we found that people have been finding it difficult to get grey bags from the waste prevention team, but we've as individuals, we sometimes approach council staff in the parks if they have a truck, and they do give out bags to you. They don't seem to have any problem about doing that. So you just have to look out for the opportunity to ask one of the council workers. So I say, I think when people have rang, they've said we're not supporting litter picks at the moment, and it's a little bit more difficult. The other thing I would say about parks is we've had an issue with Highbury Park where we've tried to get councillors involved, and we've spoken to the Friends of Highbury Park as well about the problem in Highbury Park with small bins and not enough bins and not being emptied at weekends. Now it's been incredibly busy, so you get over Saturday and Sunday mountains of waste. And the Mike Hinton from the council saying, for the parks manager saying, we have contracted workers and they don't work at weekends, and we can't provide any more bins, bigger bins. If you want them, you have to pay for them yourselves. So the Friends of Highbury Park are looking at how they'd raise funding for that. But it does seem during this pandemic, with the numbers using it, it seems a very unhelpful response that at weekends there's no picking up a litter when they have got the contracted staff. I would have thought they could look at the contract a little bit. So that is a bit of a frustration, which may be repeated in other parks as well.
Yeah, I think
Lots
so.
of areas it's
Lots of
repeated,
areas,
the lack of bins. People think if there's more bins, it's like we've not passed loads here, have we?
No, we haven't passed many bins on this path that it's probably used very frequently. Marcus, is Marcus still on, Jamie?
No, I don't think he's here anymore. I think he had to shoot off. But I've got a couple of questions out, Az. We've got a couple of questions in the chat. We've got Amelia. She's asked, has the wildlife been affected by the litter in Birmingham? What sorts are injured or killed the most? So, anyone with any information on, what's our most endangered and affected?
I can only share what I've seen on groups on Facebook. But you see the wildlife on your ponds, and the litter, the plastic litter that's been affected. The most shocking thing is the PPE. When you find the PPE and the disposable face masks that are everywhere and wrapped around birds. I had a lady who's called Anisha from the area that I live in, and she's all about the wildlife in the area, and she's put some pictures up as well. So it's shocking to see that. But has anyone else got any
swans here?
Swans.
Last year, and I know Witten Lakes have a problem with litter and the swans on the lakes.
So swans on the lakes at Witten Lakes as well. So that's one of the things that's been affected, Jamie.
Swans here because
Yeah.
the fishing wire. They're collecting fishing wire now while we talk. Mike's down there
So yeah,
cutting it away.
Mike had, as we just got in, lots of fishing wire that was left over from the fishermen, and that gets trapped. Obviously, it causes a
Not
lot of
good.
distress for the wildlife there.
I think bags, when people are feeding birds, they shouldn't really do it, but they tend to dump their bread bags, plastic bags, either in the water or at the side, and then get blown in, and that's not good for the wildlife. There's lots of signs up at places like Swanhurst saying don't feed the birds, but people do, and then leave the litter and plastic as well. The other thing is with plastic bottles, sometimes field mice, that type of thing, and shrews can get in. Sometimes you find them trapped. So anything like a plastic bottle is really bad for wildlife. And when they're floating in canals, you're going to get problems there as well. So it's just a bad idea, plastic and masks and things. It's just appalling, really.
It's amazing, isn't it? You think of, you know, all the little things that are affected, you just don't realise what an effect it has on our environment. So yeah, you know, bag it up and take it home with you if you can. You know, don't leave it around. It's that's a great answer. So thank you ever so much, Amelia, for that question. Katie also asked about masks. She said, do you find that you're finding more masks and PPE? I think we answered that.
We just pointed out one just back there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it in the camera, but we're at the Kingfisher Country Park now, where it joins onto the river behind. Now you can see the river. Now this is a lovely spot for walking, for cycling, enjoying with your family. I use it regular for my bike rides as well. And hi, Dawn. Thanks for joining us. I'm just at the River Cole now, where the Cole Valley route. And we can see there's benches here for your well-being, but next to the benches is like rubber gloves I can see on the ground, tissues lying around. In this state that we're in, you know, we don't want to be picking up, you know, stuff. We have to be careful if you're out on a litter pick, collecting PPE as well, and bagging up double bags. That's what they say at the council when we did the litter pick for Solihull Council a few months back. So yeah, just on this little stretch, I can see lots of little pieces of plastic sticking out, cans, and dog walkers, and it needs a bin here really. I mean, it's a junction here, takes you back to the way we came, and there's so number 53 here. Definitely needs a bin here, so that's something that we can kind of lobby or try and get a bin put out here in this spot here to try and avoid some of this litter being dumped here.
Local wildlife.
There's the wildlife. Someone mentioned wildlife. There's the wildlife. So I don't know if you saw, there's a cat just there going around the corner. Hi, Dawn. What you been up to today, Dawn? Say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi. Is it very cold out there?
Yeah.
Freezing, Dawn.
Let's show you Yvonne. She's shivering away.
Cold.
It's very cold. And we've got some of your members here, Dawn. We've had a surprise visit from
Mike.
Erdington Litter Busters. So thank you. They're out doing the pick. So we're just going to walk down to the River Cole for a little bit. And then I'm going to pop back and join in with them later.
Bless you.
So nice to see you. We've got lots of people online, Dawn, and you can ask any questions. It's just an open environment. We thought we'd go for a walk around Chardin and the River Cole on our sensory walk, hoping not to see litter, but we've just encountered lots of litter. So we're gonna, you know, people are still dumping litter here in this area, and poor Jim and Penn and his group, they can't get around and do everything, especially in lockdown when you're not allowed to be out doing this sort of stuff. So that's another thing the council have advised us to stop doing group litter picks. So how are you finding things over in Erdington, Dawn?
It's quite active, you know. I mean, I'm just looking on our Facebook page, and people are out on their adopted streets, solo picking. Yeah. So people are still, you know, using the opportunity to exercise and litter pick at the same time, which I think is great. So, you know, everybody's being sensible about it, and still actively going out. I've got a few Adopt a Street forms here that I'm just preparing equipment for, and hopefully can get them out to them tomorrow so that they can go out and do their exercise and litter pick. So it's all good.
Such a good concept, Dawn. It's a brilliant.
Yeah.
It's really cool, Tom. Another thing
Just
that you've asked me.
Can I just ask, just because I'm not really good on geography, where did you enter that area
from?
So
we entered it from Packington Avenue, where there's a Wellbeing Centre. So there's a Chardin Wellbeing Centre on Packington Avenue. We parked up there. We walked across the road into Chardin Lakes, and then that connects to the Coal Valley route. And it's just literally, it's a 50 metre sort of like path that
and it
takes
goes
you.
both ways. So whatever way you walk, it's beautiful. One takes you down to Glebe Farm, and then the other one takes you up to Kingshurst, is it?
Yeah, Kingshurst and Babs Mill. So Pablo and the North Solihull Clean and Green team, they will have that area covered because they're very active in that side. So just following the River Cole, you can walk for miles along the Kingfisher Country Park.
And you go from Litterpicking group to Litterpicking group. So you've got Pablo, then you've got Yorkswood residents.
Yes.
Then you've got the Kingfisher Jim's group, and then it goes on to Glebe Farm, which have got their own group. So there's plenty of groups around. They're just not out at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I think while we talk about this run, Jim is desperate for people. I think he said about June to come and do the balsam bash.
Yeah.
Get rid of the balsam. I think 2 of them done it last year. So. But they had a really good time. They chopped the balsam back, bash it, get rid of it, saves the wildlife, gets the litter out of it because all the litter gathers in it. But he's desperate for help for that this coming year. So hopefully we can get out. If we can get out, that's what he wants people to come and help him with.
Yeah.
But we can point you in the right direction for that if you're interested in coming out and joining him.
So when we're allowed to be out in a group again, maybe we can all get together, or a few representatives from our groups and come out and can help Jim with the work around the River Cole here. Any other questions? Any other comments in the sections? Jamie?
There was another question at the very beginning. Let me just go back. And then there's another one from Michelle, but I'll jump in. Oh, so Ruby said she does litter picks with. Oh, Ruby said she does her litter picks with her mum. I think you know Ruby. Do you know Ruby?
Yes, I know Ruby and Kelly and Dan. They're amazing. They've joined Michelle's pickup artist now, and they've become very active. So I'm really proud of you, Ruby. If you are still watching, I'm missing you at my Edgbaston Reservoir morning walking and running group. But I'm glad that you're out with your mum and you're doing litter picks. And you're walking, you're still being active. So really nice. Thank you, Ruby. Keep up the great work.
We had another question, Taz, from Michelle. I have a group of pickup artists in Selly Oak. Can I have some information on Adopt a Street, please?
Yes. So Adopt a Street, from what I know of it, was the Litter Watch group in Sandwell. They're quite active, so I've been following them. I've been seeing them. And then Birmingham has kind of adopted, some of the groups have adopted that. So Dawn can talk a bit more about it because Dawn's doing it. Yeah.
I've just responded to her. I've asked her to give me a call, but basically what we've asked people to do is to take ownership of their street and agree to litter pick it on a regular basis as and when they can. And the idea is we would loan them the equipment and the high vis and all the necessary equipment, give them some health and safety guidance, and they would go out and litter pick their street on a regular basis. And that's it really. And that's what people are doing. There are some people adopting just their own street, some people adopting little green spaces because they feel particularly concerned about that green space and want to keep it clean and tidy, and that's it really. I mean, there's some admin behind it, but I won't bore you with that, but that's it essentially.
And what about the funding for the litter pickers and the hoops? And do you put a pack together? I know in Sandwell they do a little pack, a that goes out to people?
Yeah, so you know, we kind of ask people what equipment they need, and if they can afford to buy their own equipment, we do encourage them to do that. But essentially, it'll be a little pack of say 5 bags, a pick, a hoop, and some gloves, and then we kind of give them some cards, ELB cards, to give out when they're out. People might ask them that, you know, want to get involved or join in, and we give them the cards, and we kind of ask them if we can take a picture. They don't have to if they don't want to. And then we post on our Facebook group what streets have been adopted, and they're also uploaded on our website, so people can see what streets are adopted, and then either adopt a part of a street if it's a really long one, or another street close by them. So at the moment we've got 600, just over 600 streets in Erdington, and we've managed to adopt just over 100. So
wow.
Oh, that's great going. Well done, Dawn. Amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jack?
Yeah, Dawn, can I just ask about the cards you hand out? They're just like business cards, are they?
Well, sorry, Mike kind of did this. I mean, that's our logo. And then on the back of it, I mean, you could call it a business card. It's got our Facebook group on there, our Instagram account, Facebook account, and our website. And then it just says underneath, Erdington Litter Busters are a growing community of volunteers cleaning and improving Erdington. Usually meet twice a month for group litter picks and friendly coffee afterwards. And that's it. So,
do you have pop-up banners as well to if you're in an area where people can see that the litter busters are around? Or
we were planning on doing the pop-up banners, and then COVID came along.
Right.
So it's something that we would like to do when we kind of have a pop-up session on the high street. But yeah, not yet.
That's really good. I like the cards. They're good.
Yeah, they're neat and tidy, and we've got some fridge magnets as well. 1 minute.
You've got all the branding now.
Giving out the fridge magnets.
All right. Yeah. Good.
So Marcus, who was on earlier, has created on a website called The Crowd, and put down all the litter picking groups that we've connected with to give you some space on the Crowd website. So that's something that we could do to promote all of your groups. Is if Moseley and Kings Heath and all the other ones sent a little bit of information to us about their groups, their Facebook pages, their Instagram account, and we can share it on. So it'll be a one-stop shop. So anybody wants to find any litter picking information on their local group, they can come to our Crowd website as well. So that's something that we could ask you all just to do after this. Is Jamie can put our email address down for tours, or can put my email address down in the chat. If you take note of that, send some information through. I'll send it on to my colleague Marcus, and he can update the website with information as well.
And if you want to be part of a bigger community, a UK community, there's Litter Action. So you can pinpoint where your groups are, and you can see coastal litter groups and litter picking groups across the country, and how they advertise their litter picks and learn other things from them as well, or teach them other things with regards to Dr. Street, I think. Or
something just popped up. Yeah, thank you, Jamie, for putting my email address in the chat. Yep, anything that you want. Go, Jack. Sorry, was that Thomas?
It's my big hand again. Sorry.
I'll come in after Thomas then. I think he was first. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with rubbish. Can I just ask, does anyone here in the group, especially Yvonne there, that's walking really briskly behind you?
Yeah.
Yvonne, I hope he's not running too fast for you.
I'm doing running. I'm so cold. Running would be.
Yvonne's a great runner as well. She's a catcher.
I'm feeling the pain, man. Feeling the pain. Yeah, I'm just wondering, Yvonne, are you familiar with a Facebook group called Birmingham Litter Pickers? They have 523 members. Now, I follow them, but I don't know who the lead is.
I'll find out for you, and I'll drop you a note.
I mean, I could ask, but I'm very careful what I'm saying, you know, and stuff. But I do know that our cabinet member, John O'Shea, is a member of that group.
Right.
So I only learned that out the other day when I said something. I was a bit outspoken, but sure, that's fine. That's fine.
Unlike you, Thomas.
It's not like me at all, is it?
Shocked. Yeah,
But
I
at
don't
least
know.
we have a counsellor following a Facebook group.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's commented on some things. So if you want to get the attention of the cabinet member for street scene and rubbish, Birmingham Litter Pickers, he's a member of it.
The other thing I would recommend is he does tend to respond to Twitter quite quickly, we find. So that I've sent him loads of emails and he doesn't respond, but others have said Twitter works.
Emails, Jack, are very hit and miss with John O'Shea, and I think he just says it as he says it, and there's no full explanation. It's very, you know, down the book, down by the road. And I just feel sometimes, you know, sometimes it's a response very robotic rather than you wanting to engage with him. I can't just engage with the man. I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, Dawn's sick of me talking about this, but I like to engage with people. And if he sees we are like a free labor force, not political party, but we're a free labor force of hundreds of people around Birmingham helping, I just want him to reach out and go, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, listen, I'm sorry, this is where we're at, but this is what we can do at the moment. And then in the future, we hope to do something else. So I just want him to acknowledge us really, in a sense.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah, he came to a meeting at the Moseley Forum over a year ago, and we had a lot of questions in advance for him. It was all in writing, and then he did respond, and then it all went dead. Nothing really happened. So it was a little bit disappointing because, you know, there was a big group of people there. It was over 50 people, and he had a chance to engage. And I think he finds engagement difficult, to be honest.
So maybe the Twitter option would be better than if he responds there.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter, but one of our group is, so I think we're trying to do that a little bit. Yeah, just to follow up, I just had a thought really. I think it was the card that's got me going, because we get a lot of people asking us either in the group or outside, how do we report X? How do we report fly tipping? How do we get bags? How do we report street clean? All these type of things. I think it could all be in one place on a card, couldn't it? This is how you contact the council for if you want a street clean. This is how you get a bulk collection or fly tipping. Maybe just a one-stop or use Fix My Street. Just giving people the ideas all in one card might be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
That's something that you've just touched on there. The Fix My Street app. How often do people use the Fix My Street app?
Yeah, I use it.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, the people that have adopted their streets, now that they know about Fix My Street app, when they post things on Facebook, they'll say how many bags they've collected, how many posts they've put on Fix My Street. So, and I think, I don't know if the council are responding better. It looks that way because things seem to be shifted quicker. So people have just cottoned on now. Every time they see something, it's straight away on Fix My Street and they're reporting it. So it'd be interesting to see how many requests they've had in the last, I don't know, 3 months or so, because there's definitely an increase.
Yeah, I think it'll be a huge increase. And just a simple video that Mike shared with the Waste Warriors a few months back was a great little video just to show you how to use Fix My Street, how easy it is to report something, and maybe you can do that little video for your groups and send it on, which you probably already have done, guys, anyway. So
everybody's got the mobile phone,
yeah,
and that you can just report it while you're there.
Can I just say, oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions. Go for it. Whoever wants to go for it.
In obviously I'm Kidderminster, so I'm a completely different place. I just work in Birmingham and I live in Kidderminster. But our council have put an app together that everybody can use, but we've got a secret link. The pickup artists have a secret link. So whenever we do a pickup, we just click on the app and then it takes our location, we take a photo. And that's what the council have actually made just for us because we're so active. So when, I don't know if that's going to be something that you could use in the future.
Yeah,
but
to chat to you about that.
What about Yvonne? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd love to chat to you about that. That sounds fab.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
should put my details in the chat and then you can give me a call.
Michelle. And then we had another question, but while that question's being posed, I'm just going to show you the view of the lake here and the swans. And
nice.
Who else had a question? Was it Jack?
Yeah, I've just had a message while we're on from someone on the group who's found 2 bits of fast food litter with details of the person, and in one case their mobile phone. And I was just contemplating what to do. I think she feels a bit concerned about putting something on Facebook and trying to shame someone. I'm not quite sure what the etiquette would be there, but if anybody's got any ideas what we could do with that.
What do you think, guys, in this situation? Do we name and shame or not? And you know, we have to be careful as well. Don't think we should be endorsing the name and shame thing. But has anyone had this kind of thing happen on their patches, and how have you dealt with it?
I'd love to have that information, Jack, for litter on my city street. I would love to use it. The thing is, though, if you did go to the fly tipping for the council borough that you're living in with that information on the road, I think they'd find that very hard to track down. And I remember a long time ago, I was investigating litter being dumped by a Harborne Walkway Road off Rotten Park Road. And I went to the council and I showed them the address of people that had dumped it there because they left their address on some of the rubbish and the fly tipping. It was all in one thing, so it had to be theirs. I went to the house myself and took a picture of the house. And I presented it all, and fly tipping came back to me and said they would normally investigate something, but because of taking it to court and everything, it wouldn't justify it because the amount of fly tipping wouldn't justify the amount of money that they would obviously be able to recover from the person who caused it in the first place.
Right.
So if it was a business, you could say to them, okay, we're fining you £5,000 or whatever. But for a domestic household, even though it could be 1,000, 2,000, they'd never pursue it because once it went through court, it would be far too much. And I said, well, that's just a joke. You have a law, yet you can't work by the law. And he said, listen, I know. And he rang me actually to discuss it in detail. And I just said, well, I really feel for you, because if I was in a job in that role, fly tipping, whatever, enforcement, and you can't enforce, what's the point doing your job? So he said, yes, it's a bit disheartening. And we left it at that. So I do sympathize with you.
Yeah. I've heard the same before as well, Thomas, exactly the same, where somebody's address has been found in something, but because nobody's seen them do it, they can't prove that somebody else took it away and left it, and it wasn't their fault.
So any other questions, guys? Let's see what we're doing for time. We've gone over our time.
Yes, I was actually curious. Is Jack, are you being handed bits of food every few minutes there from... I think you're being fed... I've no one to bring me food and bits.
No, it's not food. I'm being fed bits of paper, a list of things I've got to do afterwards.
Oh, bless you. The shopping list from your missus.
Yeah, no food, I'm afraid.
Brilliant. So we are coming around the lake back to our start point now. So we've got a couple of minutes. Anything that you want to raise with all the people online now? Those who, here, just going to point out, we've come back around the lake again, and here you can see the bread bags again. all around the side. So wherever we've been, you can see bread bags everywhere on this side. And just at the point where we're showing you the wildlife, right next to it is all this, which we don't want to see. So again, I'll be coming back round with my litter picker later and grabbing all this stuff and then helping Mike, who's already started on the other side, the carrier bag just there in front of me as well. So yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, is there anything else? Well, we've got Yvonne, and Yvonne is a knowledge, she's got so much knowledge about litter picking. And she's great.
Thomas and Moseley Litter Busters and everybody else that's on the chat. It's just how do we spread that wider? You know, it's great when people are active because things happen, but how do you spread that into communities where it's not yet happening?
I think I've had a text from someone in Aston who wants to set up a group there. So he hasn't got back to me, but I think I'll be proactive and contact him because as I drive to the end of Gravelly Hill and get to the Salford Circus, the amount of litter that I see down Litchfield Road is like, it's upsetting.
And Dawn, so I'd be happy to come out with you or work with you or speak to him for you.
Yeah. Okay. But I've noticed that I don't know if it's the council, well, I suppose it is a council, but Keir has started to trim the bushes back along sort of dual carriageways. So that's a positive.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues is we do find sometimes people who join the group get a little bit disheartened. They do a pick, then 2 days later, it's trashed again. And what we're trying to do as a group is trying to think about ways of education, talking to businesses, writing to the council, whatever it may be, so that people feel we're trying to influence things rather than just pick litter all the time. But it's quite difficult, I think, if you're doing it quite a bit and then you just see it being repeated, it can be. So we want to try and give people a more positive message and say, well, we are trying to make a difference and trying to demonstrate to people. And to be fair, I think Whole Green Angels have done a good job because I definitely have noticed they've got very enthusiastic. They're a fairly new group, and I've noticed things have got better since they have been out there, definitely a lot better. So you can see that improvement and try and show it to people. But it can be a little bit depressing at times, I have to say.
Yeah, it can.
So that we just come back towards the busy main road, so we're finding it a little bit difficult to hear you. But we just want to say now, we are going to sign out, but I'm going to come back and help with a little bit of litter picking around the area for a couple of well, whatever time we've got now before it starts getting dark. I just want to say thank you for joining us, guys. Really appreciate you giving up your time to come online, and we just wanted to have a chat and kind of connect each other up and just encourage each other. As a walker and a runner, we have an app called Strava where we record all our runs and walks, and we give everyone kudos every time we go out. And I wish there was an app for litter pickers that we can create, you know, that we can give each other kudos and thumbs up and likes. Yeah, so thank you very much for all the work that you guys are doing in helping keep our beautiful cities, our communities clean. And let's do something like this again. So this was just a virtual trial and attempt to try and get people out, and it's worked really well. So I really, really appreciate all your efforts. Those who have left as well earlier, Marcus was on, Michelle, who said bye-bye, Jamie for hosting the event as well, and all of you guys who took part. And most importantly, a big thank you to this lady. She does some amazing work, and her projects are absolutely well-named, beautiful Birmingham project, you know, and anything that you need, please get in touch with myself or Yvonne directly, and whatever we can do to help. Thank you very much. Please stay connected, stay safe. Hopefully we're out of the lockdown soon and we can do a litter pick together.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
see you. Thank you. See you, Bob. See you, Taz.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye. See you, Tom.
Bye, Thomas. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate your time as well, Thomas. Keep it going. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay, well done, Taz.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye-bye.